And again, today we'll do the scan, and maybe at last we can do it quicker. And remember, when we scan the body, even if our hand is in front, it goes all the way back to where we are on the back. So don't limit yourself. Okay? Okay. So we pay attention to our body from crown down. Make sure you're comfortable, relaxed. And connect to the earth. And create rapport with the other participants. And put our left hand on the navel and right hand above the crown. See if you can have impression of the crown center. Maybe it will help you to adjust your neck so the head will be comfortable on your neck. And then we begin to scan going down. Remember to scan way behind our physical body. And when we get down, make a pause and have an impression of the whole body. And we go back up. Try to do it a bit quicker. It's a practice. It will be different. So you go back up. See if you can feel your crown center and back of the head. And we go around the head counterclockwise. All the way till we get to the back of the neck. And in the same direction, we go on scanning the neck counterclockwise. If your hand wants to stay a bit longer at a certain place, just allow it to stay longer, even though the rhythm is a bit quicker than usual. So when we are through scanning the neck, we go to the left shoulder and scan the left shoulder all the way down the arm to the tip of the fingers. So when we reach the tip of the fingers, we pause again for a few seconds to have an impression of the whole body. Maybe we find certain parts of the body are contracted because of the movements of our arm. And then we go back up the arm. Until we reach the shoulder joint, so we can scan the shoulder again, and then we go down the left side of the body to the waistline. Remember, the scan goes through the physical body, behind the physical body. So what we practiced before about the attention behind our physical body, see what you get there. Might be interesting. It might be a change in impression from the front part of the body, then the back part of our body. So when we get to the waistline, we move to the navel center and from there to the right shoulder. And we scan the right shoulder. And then we go down the right side of the body, down to the waistline. Again, remember we go over way behind our backs, our physical backs. So once we got to the waistline, we move the right hand to the navel center and we change hands. And left hand goes on top. Again, see if you can have an impression of our crown center. And then we go down the axis. And again, I remind you, the scan goes way behind our physical backs. So when we get to the area between our feet, we pause again for a few seconds to have an impression of the whole body. And we go back up. Remember, if it wants to stop the hand, just allow it to stay longer because there might be places that need more attention or more energy or I don't know what. So when we get back to the head, try to find the crown center again. And maybe you can see that if you lift your hand a bit higher, it might help to align your backs to be more to a better posture. And then we go to the back of the head and we go over the head. Now this time we go from left to right, clockwise. And when we are through with the head, we continue in the same direction, scanning the neck, clockwise. Until we get to the right shoulder, so we scan the right shoulder to the shoulder joint and all the way down to the tip of the fingers. So when we are through with the fingers, we pause again to have an impression of the whole body. And we continue going back up. So go back up to the shoulder joint and the right shoulder again. And we go down from the right shoulder along the right side of the body down to the waistline. And again, I remind you that the scan goes way behind our backs, our physical backs. So more is involved with the scanning, maybe more energy. And again, when we get to the waistline, we move from right to left. And when we get to the navel center, we move to our left shoulder, scan our left shoulder again. And then go down from the left shoulder along the left side of the body to the waistline. So once we get to the waistline, we move the left hand to the navel center, we change hands again, and the right hand begins to scan from the left hip joint to the right, going along the pelvis. All the way to the right hip joint. And from there down to the tip of the toes of the right foot. So again, once we get to the tip of the toes of the right foot, we pause for a few seconds to have an impression of the whole body. And then we go back up. To the right hip joint again. And from there we move to the navel center. And we change hands. So the right hand is on the navel and the left hand goes to the right hip joint, scanning toward the left hip joint. So you see we go over the pelvis several times and still it's still quite blocked with most people. And just allow things to open up. And then when we reach the left hip joint, make sure you scan the whole area around it, and then scan down to the tip of the toes of the left foot. So once we get to the tip of the toes, we pause again for several seconds to have impression of the whole body. And then we move back up. Until we get to the left hip joint. Scan it again and move toward the navel center. So when we get to the navel center, both hands are on the navel. Pay attention to the whole body, to the whole sphere, to the right hemisphere, from front to back. Left hemisphere from front to back. The back hemisphere. The front hemisphere. The lower hemisphere. The upper hemisphere. And now try to be aware of the whole sphere, our sphere of awareness, extending from front to back, from right to left, from down up. Maybe there are more dimensions. And if your eyes are closed, don't let go of the impression you have. Maintain it while allowing the eyes to open to peripheral view. And then see whether the head is more silent, the sea of emotions is more calm, if the body is more relaxed. And if you feel some affection, so I don't know about Ronit if she's in a state of playing us a birthday song, because she said she has a birthday today. She's 35, and okay.
I always like your sense of humor.
Well, it's not true. It's the truth.
So she knows me since I was very, very tiny.
Really?
And when I studied to be a music teacher, I had some problem with my joint hand.
Wrist.
And that's the first wrist. That's the first time I seeked help from another dimension. And the Native American flute is wonderful, but I thought for today it's kind of cold, but I thought to play on that's my flute. I always said that my grandfather helped purchase this flute to me with my dad. So let's see. And if it's, oh, wait, the sound. Wait, we need to do the sound first. Okay.
Perfect. Beautiful.
Oh, that was lovely.
Thank you.
Très impressionnant.
Thank you. Merci. Merci beaucoup.
That was lovely.
Thank you.
Anybody wants to share anything?
I want to tell you today, the few years back, we did a workshop in Dan, in Kibbutz Dan, that we kind of let go of the body and we fell backwards.
Trance.
Trance healing. So I think today when we did the Hamosphere, I almost were in the same state of mind. I had to cut myself, so it was kind of very powerful for me today, that I felt like I almost going to the same place I was, let go of the body and just a minute before I feel no one to catch me here, so
You have your armchair. You can fall back on your armchair. It's okay.
yeah.
You don't lose control. You just go deeper.
Yeah, so I felt I was very close to be there today.
We can go there anyway. We practice two things in trance. One is to let go. So our wings of perception go further. She's just me. She's going behind me. And the other thing is when you are in your body, you also let go. But something, the axis remains there. It's like something that's holding us in place. So we have to merge the two together. This is my understanding of our journey. Because there's always some parts of us that are contracted physically, emotionally, mentally, conception-wise. And if you feel like letting go, just allow yourself. It's okay. It's fun. Ça va, Jocelyne?
Oui, ça va. Oui. Très bien, et toi? Et toi, ça va?
Ça va bien.
Oui.
Il y a un orage ici.
L'orage?
Un orage, mais
D'accord.
tempest, storm.
Mm.
Yeah. So,
We just have rain here.
yeah, it's simple. Anything else you want to share?
I love doing this because I feel so relaxed afterwards. So thank you.
Yeah.
Good.
It calms you. It calms you completely. It's wonderful.
Thank you, Sue.
A great soup. Okay.
Okay.
So, au revoir. On verra.
À la semaine prochaine.
Oui.
Chag Sameach, happy Hanukkah.
There's a holiday in Israel.
It's here too.
Yeah. Anyway, we light candles.
Oh, that's nice. That's lovely.
Yeah, okay. So, next week. See you
Okay.
next week.
Yeah.
Have a good week.
Have a good week, everybody.
Yeah,
You
thank you.
too.
So, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Au
Bye.
revoir. Bye-bye.
Au revoir. Bonne semaine.
Bonne semaine.